What's up, guys? Welcome back to the show. Tonight's episode, a fellow realtor who I really, really respect and absolutely enjoy talking to every time I get to see him, which is not often enough, Walker Adair. He is a fantastic personality, a great realtor, and has some pretty interesting insights into where to invest your money in BC right now in the real estate market. Check it out. Enjoy the show. Is it socially acceptable or professional etiquette to wear a hat to a listing appointment?
I do it all the time.
Do you?
All the fucking time.
Man,
and I'll wear these too.
I do it for my friends.
Well, not all the time, I will admit, but I will wear I got called homeless by my client a couple days ago. I was wearing this sweater. It was a month ago, and these, and she's like, "Are you homeless?" But I didn't wear a hat because I looked like trash. So I was like, if I do my hair up and look cute, I don't like as homeless because I actually made an effort to put my hair, but so I can wear ripped clothes and. So
that's one of the cool things about our industry, man, is that there's no playbook, right? Mm-hmm. To be successful, it doesn't matter. You just got to work your ass off and be unique, be yourself.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
We should leave this for the thingy.
Oh yeah, this is the thing.
Oh, this is the thingy. Oh shoot, you didn't even introduce me.
I will do a separate intro. Yeah, I just do an intro and just talk about you after.
Yeah. All right.
Well, what we talked about, because I don't know where this is going to go.
Exactly. Honestly, 2 hours of drinking neutrals. Are they sponsoring? Wait, no.
Are you surprised I remember? I remember that I think last time you told me you didn't like whiskey.
Yeah, I don't mind whiskey if it's diluted and made into a cocktail.
That's not really my style.
Yeah.
As you can probably see.
No, I know, right?
I think of you as the guy on $1 Million Listing New York. What's his name? The guy that always wears cardigans and jeans to listing appointments and white t-shirts.
What's his name? Oh, gosh.
I think he has the long, flowy hair, right? He's the newer guy.
I don't know. I've actually never seen. I don't watch $1 Million Listing since I got into real estate straight up.
That was sweet.
I watched Selling Sunset.
Oh, God.
Obviously. That's my thing. That's my shit right now. Is Selling Sunset. I've already finished it, but.
My girlfriend showed me 10 minutes of that show, and I said, never play that again on my TV.
It's so fake. I love it. It's just the thing. Because I'm looking at starting a TV show, which is kind of Selling Sunset-esque, but up north. So I'm not going to go too far into it, but I'm meeting someone after this to kind of discuss the pilot, hopefully.
That's unreal.
Yeah. So my goal...
Is it going to be a sales show? You're selling?
It's going to be a lifestyle kind of show, kind of like Selling Sunset more so. So it's not going to be a flipping show or anything or sale. It's more lifestyle, but
loosely
sales.
Based on real estate.
Yeah, because I can't really just bring it all about real estate. I want it to have kind of flow a little bit, not just be a different episode every thing. I want kind of be a series like Selling Sunset was.
Why up north?
There's a whole thing. So it's kind of the bougie me here going up north and selling there. And then kind of the first season I'll have my mom, I'll be doing her house and all the memories from up north, being a gay up there, how crappy it was, how shitty it was to live there, coming back down, making it, and then coming back to my hometown and changing my hometown. And then the first thing I want to do is change my mom's house, the one I grew up in, right? To be this dream house, even though it's a little 980 square foot rancher, right? Just make it this insane house for her. And then just start flipping houses there and making these just extra crazy modern houses out of these 700 square foot homes that I bought. The one I bought this summer.
Have you sold houses up there?
Yeah, I sold 2 this year up there just because I was bored. I flew up there. I drove up and I was my friend, I referred my friend to a realtor there, right? With no dual agency anymore. Obviously, the first house he wanted was the one he wants to buy, and it was the realtor that I referred him to. It was her listing. So she was like, well, why don't you just write the offer? I was like, okay, I'll be there in 2 weeks. And she's like, what? So I drove up and wrote an offer, and then I ended up finding a house to buy for $35,000 that I liked, and I bought it.
We'll get into that.
Yeah.
What's that drive like? How long is that?
13 hours.
It's that long? Oh, shit.
One way. So I made a road trip out of it. So I drove a lot. I went up there and then drove all through Alberta. And yeah, it was 13 hours one way. And I wrote the whole thing off because I just would stop in every town and, talk to realtors I knew on the way up.
Do they treat commission differently?
No, they did it almost identical.
So you don't make any money on a $35,000.
Well, it wasn't. I found that private. So that I found on Facebook.
Did you really?
Yeah.
It was a for sale by owner?
Yeah, on Facebook Marketplace for 50 grand, and everyone was laughing. They're like, haha, this is fake. No one sells a house for 50 grand. So I called him, and lo and behold, he was. So I was like, I'll be there in 10 hours. I'm just about in hope. Like, just hold, like, can I look at it tomorrow morning? He's like, sure. So.
What is a property like that supposed to go for?
It appraised for $104K a week after I bought it, because it reappraised it, got a mortgage. So appraised for 104. And we got a $77K mortgage on it. And then I'm now renovating it, putting 85 in. It was only supposed to be 40 in, but.
How'd you get a $77K mortgage on a $35K purchase price?
Because I just got a steal. No, they didn't know what it paid for it. I got private, and it appraised at 103,750.
They didn't want to see a sales contract?
It was private at 14.5%. She didn't care. She had no idea. Like, it was just some private lender down here. This 70 grand is nothing to them. So I got my broker. I was like, just find me someone. I don't care what interest rate. I just need the money to do the renos. And then I'll just flip it out in January when we finish the renos. But I even got a call from BC Assessment.
Really?
They're like, we're doing our, we saw you made this purchase here back in July 31st, Mr. Adair, and we just want to make sure it was an arm's length transaction. It wasn't like mom selling to a child or anything. And I was like, no. She's like, really? It was arm's length? I'm like, yeah. She's like, how did you find this? She's like, I've been here for 10 years. She's like, this is one of the best deals I've ever seen someone get in real estate here. And I was like, I found it on Facebook. And she's like, wow. So I'm like, yes, it was a legit transaction. My $300 in property transfer tax I paid.
You know what the moral of the story is, Carl?
What's that?
Use a fucking realtor.
No kidding, eh? Oh my God.
Right?
This guy lost 66% of his property value.
And the crazy thing was he paid 23 grand for it back in 1982, according to the tax, or 84 or something. And he was happy he made money. I was like,
is it a really old guy?
Yeah. And the story is kind of crazy. Like, he was selling it because his daughter was a crazy meth head who was living there and kept trashing the place, hadn't paid rent in 2 years, and he was trying to run away from her because she was basically coming after him now that he kicked her out. Like, it's a sad story, but he was happy, and it's a win-win or no deal. That's how I treat real estate. And it worked. I ended up getting it, and he was happy, and I helped him through everything, getting out, moving to his new place down wherever, and getting a notary, a lawyer, all that crap. I made him pay for it all, and he was still happy to do it.
What does the city of Dawson Creek look like right now?
Full of snow. It's minus 26 up there right now.
Is it growing? Because you, on the way in, you mentioned 100 Mile is bonkers right now.
Yeah, it's right now it's dying because of COVID. They're getting a lot of cases up there. So
they are? Really?
And it's falling, and then the oil's low, so house prices are low. Okay. Right? So I'm actually going back up in January to try to snag a couple more. I found 3 or 4 more distress sales for 40 to 65 that can be rented for the rents up there are high. My house would be $1,300 a month. Easy. And these 3-bed, 1-bath, I could probably rent for 16. If I wanted to furnish them, I could get 27 to 3 for them.
And the rental market is that good up there?
Yeah, for short-term furnished, typically.
It's short-term.
Yeah, my mom does it in the house we have up north. She rents them for $8,000 to $1,000 a month per bedroom.
Crazy.
It's nuts. But the real estate market, it's dropped, right? You can go on realtor.ca and see a lot of cheap things. But I think my house will be worth 200, 180 to 2 when it's done.
And what's your reno costing?
I budgeted 35 to 40, and then the foundation on the one side collapsed. And then the electrical, just today I got the text. There's yeah, the electrical wasn't done very well. We got it redone. I just did it. And I was like, no. So that's for another $4,000 on top of the $4,000 we spent. And then so we're gonna be able, I don't even know, 85. I've stopped. I'm just I won't go up there anymore because I'm just this house is a hell. I don't care what they do anymore. Here's a photo of a kitchen. Just make it look like this, and don't call me, and just do it. And if you need more money, just let us know then. So I'll be about 100 in when said and done, which is what it appraised for when I went up and gutted it.
Yeah.
So.
And you want to do it again?
Yeah, 10 more times.
You learned a lot?
Huh?
Did you learn a lot?
I learned that it costs a lot more to fucking reno a house than you think. And that fucking HGTV is not wrong. But this shit sucks when there's a mistake where something happens. It's like, oh, okay. It's right. I thought that was kind of a, an exaggeration. It's not.
We sold that house that me and Jamie renoed in Queen's Park.
Oh, amazing.
And a month after, no, sorry. It was like a few days after the people moved in, they called us and they said, hey, the dishwasher's not working. So I sent like I called the appliance company. They're like brand new appliances. I called the appliance company and I said, hey, the dishwasher's not working. Can you just go have a look at it? And they call me while they're there. They're like, it's not plugged in. And then I'm like, okay, well, can you plug it in? And they're like, there's no plug here.
Oh no.
And then I called Jamie. I'm like, hey, can we like call the contractor and find out the electrical plan and see if there was an electrical wire around there? Because if there wasn't, it would have been like a $1,500 fix, cutting out drywall and running a new, right? So we found out that the electrician did run a wire there,
but he just
didn't poke through the drywall and put an outlet. With like just the stupidest shit they have to deal with. Like
I know, and I'm like at that stage, but like I'm like when we like I didn't want to do a big reno in this house. Like I spent all my money buying the house, and then like put all my money into the beginning of the renos, and then when the side of the foundation, we were trying to take the bathtub out. I couldn't get it out. It's this big ass like stainless steel bathtub, and like just leave it. I'm like, I've already destroyed it with a fucking sledgehammer, being angry at it. It's like dented to hell, and I'm like, I can't get it out. So they got it out, and that was when the foundation collapsed. I guess it was holding the one side of the foundation in.
Yeah.
Because the minute they took it out,
the bathtub was holding the foundation.
It's an old dumpy house. It's like from the 50s. Oh man, and then. He's like, okay, well, whatever. And then he's ripping the floors out to get to the foundation. The crawl space is that, like, there's that much room in the crawl, like 2 inches. And all the floor joists were rotten completely. And they're like, he's like, well, there really was nothing holding the foundation on because the floor joists were rotten. So they had to rip the whole floor out. And then when they got to that, they're ripping the floor out. And then I'm like, please save the kitchen. Like, it's ugly as hell, but like, I don't want to pay for a new one. And then like, well, the kitchen's built in because it's old, it's original. And so we had to rip the whole thing out. And I'm like, oh, God damn it. He's like, so we got to do a new kitchen. And I'm like, okay, well, we might as well just gut the whole house again and just start from scratch. Because I had already started putting drywall up because I don't know what I'm doing and I wanted to get stuff done. So I went in, gutted it, put new insulation, drywall, did electrical, not myself. And then we had to rip it all out again. So I learned a lot so far. And I know what not to do next time.
Yeah.
Kind of. Probably just not do anything because, I mean, I'm pretty shitty at everything that I tried to do, except the demo. The demo was fun.
How's your contractor up there?
He's great. It took us 6 times to find a good contractor.
Oh, really?
And I just gave up. I was like, this house is going to rot and hopefully it burns down because we have really good insurance. And then we found a good contractor. So he's been great. And he's like willing to come with us to every house we go to.
Amazing.
We'll see how he is when he starts doing finishing because he's like, you picked some really expensive shit. I'm like, yeah, I imported fucking tile from Spain, baby, for this bathroom. And he's like, how much you spend? I'm like, $3,000 on tile. He's like, holy, for Dawson Creek. I'm like, yep, and a rental property.
Are you going to keep it and rent it?
Yeah.
Or are you going to sell it?
I'm going to keep it and rent it 100%. Renting it, and then I'm going to remortgage it. Just mortgage it to the 9s, put a tenant in for $1,000 to $1,200. Maybe, hopefully my good friend up there. And then just
how many bedrooms is it?
It's 2 bed, 1 bath.
Only 1,000?
1,000 to 12. 1,000 for my friend, maybe 12 to 1,300 for someone else. Just because our cost will be like $750 a month max.
Yeah.
Right. And if we can remortgage it, get a tenant in, that's good for 2-3 years. I could buy 2 more with $100,000, maybe even 3 more with 100 G's up there. I might just stick with 1 though. It's because it's a lot of work.
Carl does home renos.
You want to go to Dawson? It's only a 13-hour drive one way in the summer.
13 hours, eh? No, but all the stories you're saying, I've been there. I mean, this is what construction is.
Yeah.
It's all surprises, and you just fucking never know.
Exactly.
Do you have any fuck up stories like that, Carl? Where someone didn't
that you want to talk about on camera?
Outlet for a dishwasher?
No, nothing major. Usually I like babysit everything, so Usually our projects are smaller, so like structural and stuff we don't really deal with.
And usually, like for that, usually the appliance company that is paid to come in and install the appliances
They would tell you about
would
that.
think to plug in the dishwasher, right? And or be like, hey, there's no plug back there.
But you plug in a new dishwasher and you run a cycle, right? That's the first thing you do. Make sure everything's working, everything's draining. How long was it sitting there just unplugged, hanging out?
The appliances probably went in at least 6 months, probably 6 months before the buyer moved in.
And was it like a realtor who bought it? Like a realtor like represented him?
No, there was a realtor there.
So why didn't they like do an inspection and test like an
They
appliance?
did a home inspection. The home
They
inspector
didn't
didn't
test
say
the
anything.
appliances? Ooh.
The home inspector had like a long list of like super small deficiencies. We're kind of annoying, but whatever.
Yeah.
And that was
that they
not
were
one
the
of
Not the
the
dishwasher, yeah, right.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I know that's gonna happen with mine. I'm just like, I'm waiting for it like to happen. It's gonna be like, oh, nothing. Oh, not working. Oh no. Ugh, but it's still gutted to the studs, and it's like minus 30 up there. So I'm like, please just like keep a heater in there 24/7 because it's cold. And like we had to rip out. Oh, it's just, I can't believe it. Like the house, like I thought wasn't going to be that bad, and like we had to rip everything out. Like we had to rip the gas service out because like everything was fucked in this house. Like everything you can think of was fucked. Everything. Windows were broken. Like, and I was like, this isn't that bad. There's still heat. And then they like tested. They're like, well, it's just because it's summer. And I'm like, oh, duh. Like rip out the gas furnace. Like we're putting in electric blowers in the wall, like electric furnaces in the bedrooms. Like instead of like these little, I don't know what the hell they are. I haven't seen them. My contractor told me to do it. Like, but
Is there oil tanks up there?
I don't know. Hopefully not. Probably, but they don't care. I didn't
don't
see
care?
anything. So yeah, they're like, they don't even like care about asbestos and stuff. I don't want to say it on camera, but I did it. I didn't realize. I'm like, I think this might be asbestos. I'm like ripping out the insulation, and I'm like Googling it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is asbestos. I'm like, but
You're
just
not
bag it
supposed
up,
to do that.
triple bag it up, and throw it away.
Carl, how shitty is asbestos?
It's awful. You're just itchy all day. Installation
it's
is
horrible.
so bad. It's fucking,
It was so bad, and I was so aggressively ripping it out of the walls. It had the backing on it, right?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
old
Oh,
70s
yeah.
backing, and I was just like ripping it out of the walls. And also, I didn't realize that when you open up the walls, you have to take all the electrical back up to code now because you're messing with the electrical. I'm like, fucking God, I'm stupid. Like, rip all the drywall out of the whole house, and now I have to replace all the electrical in the house. Yeah, so I learned a lot, and I'll probably end up doing it again because when I get a TV show, you need drama.
You should have taped this one, man.
I did. I
this
have
one sounds like the
about
interesting
6
one.
hours of footage of me do it, but I've just been like too lazy to edit it all.
Yeah.
So there's like tons of footage of me like doing the demo and like hating my life and like knocking shit over and breaking things that shouldn't be broken. So I've got like probably 15 gigs of footage of just shit that I need to pour through when I bought
When
it.
did you buy this house?
Mid-July, I think.
Okay.
And like it was supposed to be ready for a tenant October 1st. It's literally still a dirt pit, a frozen dirt pit now.
Ours turned into like, what? How long was that? 18 months? Probably.
Yeah, but your house was big. This is
Yeah, it was
720 square feet.
Yeah, it was like 3,600.
Yeah.
It was big. And we had an oil tank, so we had to plug the oil tank.
You had so many little issues. Like you had to bring the water up to code and like on the street and do all that stuff too.
Yeah, the city kind of sucks. Oh, well, one of our own fuck ups was when the plumbers were in, we forgot, kind of. We basically forgot. Because we bought it because it had 2 lots. So we literally just had to put a fence up. It already had 2 PADs. But
Did you sell one of the lots on its own? Or?
so we sold the lot and we put building plans together, got them approved with the
Smart.
city,
So that'll
which was really
finance
cool.
the reno, right?
Yeah,
Kind of.
we bought it like early 2018 and sold middle of 2020. So like the market had gone down probably 5%.
Yeah.
So the reno added value, but we probably lost money on the front house and then made a little bit of money on the back.
Yeah.
But we forgot to service the back lot. And then we realized we need an easement. So then we start talking to a lawyer. He's like, yeah, we can do it, but it's going to take a couple weeks. And then we get the easement and then we get it done. But like, it could have been so much cheaper. We probably wasted 30 grand there
Yeah.
when we could have just done it because we did all the drainage.
So you already had all the pits dug.
We already had the ditch around the house dug and then filled it in.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who does this, but your mistake was more costly. But I mean, like, when you're doing like a $2 million plus house, you know, one little mistake could cost a lot. 5% on 35 grand is like $250 or $1,500.
The drainage was a big one too. We weren't really planning on doing drainage, but as soon as we got into the basement, like there's water coming in. So we did the drainage bill was probably like 35 grand too.
Yeah.
Man.
But it looks so nice. I saw it when it was done. Sweet. It's pretty gorgeous, I got to admit.
They got a fucking sweet house for $175. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It was a $500,000 reno. $475.
It's crazy.
Yeah, you can't replace that.
It adds up quick, eh?
Yeah.
Shut up.
The back was fun. Yeah. The back was really fun because I've never gone through that process of like working with an architect to get plans together and then going to the city and the city saying, well, we don't like this. We want a larger overhang. We want like all these stupid little things. And you're like, okay, well, I didn't know that. Then you go back to the architect and it's like so much back.
Because it was heritage, right?
Well, the new one on the back, no. But the Queen's Park has like character heritage kind of guidelines for new construction. So they want like certain colors and certain exterior material and certain windows and shit like that.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was cool. It was really cool to go through that process.
Yeah, my goal is to eventually start doing this down here because my business partner lives in Maple Ridge. So like it's a long drive for both of us. Like he drove up this like later a couple months ago and went up to the house. But like I want to start doing it down here or eventually do it down here. Mm-hmm. But like I also don't see that there's any money to me flipping in Vancouver. For the risk like you've got to put in, like flipping down here is like you better be like loaded if you're going to start like flipping regularly down here. Right? Maybe condos, but like, I mean.
Where does it work? You and your dad have done a couple, right?
Yeah.
You did one in Maple Ridge 2 years ago?
It was a single family home in Maple Ridge.
Ridge works all the time.
Yeah.
Because you get a single family home and you just pop a suite in and you're marketing to a family, you get like $50K more.
And we finished in like 2017, so when shit was bumping. So we just got lucky.
Timing was good.
Timing was really good for us.
My client picked up a 4-bed, 2-bath. I sell Maple Ridge a lot on 232nd Street in Maple Ridge. And we paid, it was just like $600. We paid $520. $519 for it or something. I can't remember. Maybe $475 because we got it first time home buyer, and it's now worth like, and that was in the peak, and now it's worth like $150 more, even still because it's big, and like they redid the whole thing because they had both sides for sale, and like the other side bought it and was like, we're gonna do the whole roof, we'll pay for it, don't worry, and then the other side sold, so we got a free roof done on it because they just wanted it was in really bad shape, but like flipping, I don't know.
It's tight. You like, there's not much profit in Vancouver right here.
No, you're lucky if you get like 5%. Lucky if you can get 5%. I had a client tried to flip and lost.
It's just like trades are so expensive. Labor's so expensive here. Materials are freaking crazy. It just adds up.
And lumber is going way up.
Yeah.
Lumber's gone up a lot.
It changes so fast, man.
It
You go to
doubled since
Home Depot the next day, and it's like, what?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it doubled in Dawson in the last like month, and I was like, "Fuck, did you buy it all?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "God damn it! Like, I can't pay more for this goddamn house." And like, he said, "Yeah, the lumber just up." Yeah. I didn't understand that. Like, I was like, "Okay, lumber." No, like you said, it changes literally daily, almost.
It's pretty crazy. It's pretty drastic. I see a lot of price changes.
Is that common or is that just in the last 6 months?
No, it's pretty common. I know when Trump came in, he had those tariffs on the lumber trading and stuff, so that affects it quite a bit.
When you're a contractor on your side of the industry, how do you budget a big reno then?
You honestly, materials can change. That's how you do it. You have your labor cost.
You're very clear about this is our budget for material. It's $50,000, but there could easily be a 10% swing in that.
Exactly. Yeah. Based on price changes or whatever. If the client picks something more expensive too, finishings and stuff. So.
Which they almost always do.
Yeah. Changes stuff last minute.
Always.
Or something goes in. Like Vinny just rented my brother just rented his house. He is a contractor. He does home renos and builds for a living. And so he did it all himself, but he painted the whole house. And then he asked me to come in. He's like, "Does it look blue to you?" I was like, "Yes." It's like
So
it's light blue. He's like, "Fuck." The little swatch or whatever. Is it called a swatch?
Yeah.
He's like, it looked light gray. I'm like, well, it's definitely blue. So he repainted
the whole thing.
Just the main floor, but that's so funny.
Colors play with you, man. You get sunlight on one wall.
I'm so annoyed with the
shade
colors.
on another wall,
Totally.
completely different, but it's the same color.
Over picking colors.
Yeah.
I hate it. I have a good vision in your head, and you're like, "This looks like shit."
Yeah.
But you just can't. It's too much to change. Like when I picked up my tiles, like my business partner was like, "Dude, like don't go so crazy on the tile. Like, I'm like, it's a tiny bathroom. Let me have the fucking bathroom because it's going to look nice. And like, I went in, I mean, I got it for a good deal. The fawn tile on Terminal.
Yeah.
They had like, I mean, the tile, just the floor was $1,100 for the floor. And it's like, the bathroom's like the size of this coffee table, like the floor. Like, I was spending like $14-15 a square foot per tile for the floor. It's like this beautiful, like natural, like black slate hex tile.
What's a normal like tile? Like $7?
Yeah, $7 is pretty average. Yeah, 14 is a lot. It's on the higher end.
Yeah, it was like, and then I had the wall was like this beautiful like travertine or whatever. And it was like, no, I'm like, this is like almost white. Like, this is stupid to spend this much. So I got like a cheaper tile, but like still like, oof. And that's just for the bathroom. And then we also like thrifted a lot of stuff too. So we're on Craigslist trying to find like toilets and stuff that were like ripped out of like newer houses and stuff. So we got like a nice toilet for like $20. All these things. And like we're bringing them up a truckload and the contractor's like, what the fuck? Like, he didn't drive up. We spent $1,000 to like deliver it with gas in my business partner's truck. Full of tile and like a toilet and a bathtub we bought too. We brought a bathtub up. That's probably not going to fit. Who knows?
You don't want to keep that old steel one that was holding the house up?
I kind of thought it would be cool to keep, but then I destroyed it. So I was like hitting it with a sledgehammer, just having fun. It's like,
you mentioned you don't see a lot of value or opportunity in flipping in Vancouver. The market is crazy right now for some stuff and fairly slow for others. I know you work with a lot of investors. Where are you looking for value opportunity right now?
outside of the Lower Mainland.
Yeah.
And downtown.
Is there any... downtown. Man, we have 3 listings right now. Well, one just came off market. We have 2 or 3 listings downtown for the last 2 months, and they've been dead quiet.
My clients lost 100.
They've been like one showing a week.
Why is that?
Everyone the huge trend is moving to the burbs and getting more space.
And also with everyone working from home, who can work? I was just saying before we started the podcast, I want to literally pull my hair out if my office closes again because I'm in a 1-bedroom condo and working from home, my dining table, ooh.
Yeah.
Do you think the rise in crime and stuff is
that too? So in the gay community, the West End is big. I have a lot of gays that are getting out of the West End because of the rise in property crime, drug use, it's just getting so
you see it, you're living it, right? You notice the change.
Oh, I do. Maybe my car gets keyed, my car gets broken into constantly. Well, it hasn't been in the last little while, but my parquet gets broken into at least once or twice a month. Thanks. So it's getting so bad. One of my good friends calls me up. We're giving away pumpkins, and he's like, "I need to get out." He's just the crime is getting so crazy. He's never left, even left downtown core. He leaves to go to the airport. We were showing stuff in East Van, and he's like, "I've never been here before in my life." And he's he's from the States, but he's like, "I've lived here forever, and I've never been here to East Van." And I'm like, "Wow." And I'm like, "Then you're moving?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's how much the West End has changed and downtown has changed." So that's where it says good value right now. Yeah. Anything under 500, if my client's a first-time home buyer, I'm like, why don't you just sneak into the West End into a 1970s building? Because the whole West End will change probably 5 to 10 years. And I honestly think there's going to be higher density going up because we're going to get the old timers fleeing and dying, and a lot of the families moving out again. And I think they might pop up the density in the West End like they're doing all around, right? With all the big high rises.
Have you seen prices come down downtown?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had a listing in...
just this year? Since COVID?
Well, nothing's really selling.
Yeah, totally.
2019, they bumped up again, and then they've dropped a bit, but it's hard to say because there's so little selling that people are just dropping the price in their listings.
Yeah.
So not a whole lot of selling. So, I mean, I've got clients I'm meeting tomorrow, and they want $450 to $500, and I kind of laughed, and I was like, wait, you can actually get that now in the West End for a 1-bedroom. But when I first called, I was like, never going to happen. But you can. There are maybe 5 to 10 listed under 5 that are selling 30, 40, 50 days on the market.
Isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
Your 1-bedroom in Coquitlam by Burquitlam is probably $450.
That's crazy. That blows my mind. Because downtown, everyone talks about downtown, living downtown, right? That's a dream. But you hear about all this crime.
It took me 40 minutes to get here, 35 minutes to get here. And I live downtown. And I was like, that's not a dream. I used to live out, but it's it's just getting shittier and shittier and more expensive, especially with, I don't know if you saw today with the fucking nice city of Vancouver wanting to bring in the road tax. They got
they approved it, right?
They approved it today. I'm like, bitch, excuse me? Like, now it's going to be more expensive to live here? Joy.
It's not just going to push more people away.
Right? So
why is that a good thing? I don't understand.
It's commuters. But like, who commutes anymore? Like, there's no traffic almost.
Yeah.
Like, ever. Like, you can see Highway 1 from your window almost. And it's flowing at like 6 o'clock.
I don't go downtown often, especially with bars and stuff not open or restricted. But like, I was down there, I was driving through Gastown last week at like 5 p.m. and it was just a ghost town.
I know.
There's like 8 people walking on the street where usually it's just packed, right?
Yeah.
On a sunny afternoon. It's so crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. Like, and the crime is just, it's all over too. It's like spread out. Like, all I hear, like, I live right on the ocean, so I'm like, amazing view, but like, all I hear is like the shopping carts going through the alley and then the screaming in the park, like just down the road. And, you know, it's just constant. You see like shit, like piles of human shit in the parks and stuff. Like, and gas, it's getting, but like rents have come down. So like, you know, I pay $1,850 for my little place there. I mean, to buy that with that view, I'd be paying probably $900K. So it's like, to me, there becomes to a point where it's like just not worth it to buy in some areas. But the 1-bedrooms are dropping, and you know, you can still rent 18 to $2,000 for $400K, $450. Yeah. It's not a bad deal.
What's the rental market like right now?
I mean,
like to look for a renter if you own one of those.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, I work like a lot of investors, so I've got one of my clients on the Canby corridor was like, oh, $2,800 for my 1-bedroom. I'm like, no way. Like, you'll be 21, 23 max if you're lucky. Brand new, paid almost $1 million, $900K, whatever, after GST and everything.
Oh, that's painful.
Just bought another one yesterday. So, but I mean, yeah, tenants kind of get a bit of control, especially with the rent freeze too. Right. So, but like right now we're doing New West, like, I just sold one of those dumps. I don't know if you saw the Free Joe Exotic house. I sold this house. It was on Connaught Heights. It's like, we're like the king. I'm the queen of Connaught Heights. We sold like, I think 9 houses to like one person there. And like 2 people in the last like 2 years. So we sold another house there for $1,045,000. And it was bad. Like someone had tried to light it on fire. There's a hole in the roof, like water pouring through. All the electrical was stripped out of the whole house. All the plumbing was stripped for money. The furnace, like everything got stripped by the homeless people. And my client's like, I love it. We paid $1,045,000 for it, right across the road from the SkyTrain.
They're not planning to live there. They want to develop?
We're going to develop, yeah. It's going to be high rise in the next like 5 years. Well, this will be like 6 stories, but across the road is high rise. So he's been buying up everything in the neighborhood.
So the same guy that we were trying to get to buy 8th Ave like a year and a half ago. Maybe.
Yeah. Same dude. Yeah. But he's like set on the spot. So it's been great. It's kind of.
Is he going to rent it?
Yeah, he's gonna reno it.
He has to fix it up.
He's gonna do like 200 and 180 to 2 in renos, and then rent it for 2,300. So it's like a negative cap rate.
This guy has a lot of cash.
Yeah, he's a good client.
That's awesome.
I mean, he makes a lot of money. He's smart. Speculation, right? It's Vancouver real estate's a game. It's unfortunate, but if you ain't got money to play the game, you ain't gonna be able to play it. So
where else opportunity to look?
Princeton. I sold a house there this year. $169K. 167.5. It's like 3 hours away. It's not even bad. And like,
is that Okanagan?
I don't know.
It's before Okanagan, isn't it? Kind of by Hope, kind of a little bit past Hope.
Yeah, it's only like an hour and a half past Hope, like on Highway 3. Like, is this house listed for $222? And like, it was right in the middle, like in like April, May, when like it was dead. Like, no cars on the road. I was like, is anything gonna ever happen again? So my business partner actually was like, oh, there's this house in Princeton. I wrote an offer with a different realtor, but like we couldn't get it done. So we went and wrote, it was listed for $222,900. So I was like, hey, called the agent, blah, 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 and went and looked at it. And we were like 190 on it. And we got it accepted for 185. And then we walked away. And then like a month later, we came back because I knew there was like a really old couple. And like I knew I could take advantage of them because they needed it sold, and who's buying houses in Princeton in a pandemic because they were taking it seriously. So I was like, okay, like no, and we walked away. And then we came back, and then I came in at like 175. We got it accepted. And then when we were about to remove our subjects, the appraisal came back at like 169. So like, well, we came back, I lied. So it came back at 167.5, got it for 167.5. And I'm like, they won't like let anyone even pay extra money, like to buy down the mortgage or whatever. Like if we buy over appraisal, it needs to come in an appraisal. I'm like, so just get it done if they want to sell. So we got it, rented for $1,300 a month. Didn't need any work. Nice little house, 2-bed, 1-bath, smaller than the one I bought. But that's only 3 hours from here. Like if you were to put it in on Google Maps, like I think this only like, I don't know, get directions to Princeton. Like New Jersey. Like it's so small of a town that it doesn't even give you the yeah, so it's like 2.5 hours away. But
Crazy. What do you think of pre-sale? Well, I know we were just chatting about it briefly. What do you think of pre-sales right now?
I don't know. I mean, there's some really good deals, I think.
I know.
Like I don't know if you saw it on King Edward and Kingsway. It's like 1,000 a square foot, 980 a square foot. I'm like, that's a good deal. A concrete high rise, brand new. And they're like, commissions are nice on a pre-sale right now because like they're desperate. So you sell 3 units in it, you'll make like 4% flat basically. Like, but I mean, a lot of people don't want to tie up 20%. Right? Because most of the high rises want 15, 20%. We're seeing 5% for you see it in like some low rises out in Langley and stuff. But I mean, I don't know. I bought a pre-sale and it was the stupidest thing I ever bought.
Where?
In Surrey 2 years ago.
Is it done?
No. I hope it has a lot of delays so I can walk away. I paid 1,000 a square foot.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, impressive. I'm dumb. Like, it's probably the stupidest thing I bought or that sold a client into, which was myself. So
whatever. Live and learn.
I camped out for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Where?
1 Central. I don't know where it is. I literally don't know where it's going. It's by Surrey Center, but I've never seen the site. I'm impulsive.
Why was it that expensive in Surrey?
Because it was such a hype to get it. Like there was like hundreds of people camped outside for this place. I camped outside overnight in the winter, like October, to get this place. And then, yeah.
Do you remember Pier West?
I sold one in there. Yeah.
I sold 3.
They're so expensive.
They were like more expensive than Brentwood right now.
I know.
Like
I told my client don't buy
1,100 a square foot.
Yeah. I know. We got, I think 42nd floor in Pier West. 1 bedroom in Tower 2 with a nice view, like facing I think it was Tower, I can't remember. But like 1 bed was like 760 or something.
My guys had one bedroom and 2 bedrooms. The 1 bedroom was $629, I think, on the 23rd floor. It was like, I don't know, 575 or 600 square feet or something. So it was like 1050 a foot. And then they had a 2 bedroom on the 27th or 28th floor or something. And that was $1,090,000.
You can buy a house for that. I know. But you know, that was all pre-sales 2 years ago, right? Pre-sales 2 years ago were like the craze.
There was, Carl, so they had 600 units at Pier West.
Yeah.
650 maybe. They had 3,800 request forms.
What?
I had to bribe basically to get my unit for my client.
It was a lottery. I know. Yeah. You had to like make friends with the sales staff.
Yeah, I had to basically, like, I can't really go too far into it, but I basically, like, I was calling her daily. I said, hey, if there's any rescission, my client wants one. And I was in LA at family reunion, Keller Williams family reunion. Yeah. And like, we're at like the morning, like they do the prayers and shit. And like my client's like spam calling, like she's calling me and I was like in the back of the room, like, and I talk loud, like I get excited, I talk loud, and like everyone's staring at me, and I'm just like yelling about like this like 1 bedroom for $800K, and I'm like, oh my god, gosh, but like she wanted it, like it was such a hype. Everybody was like freaking out if they got a request, and that was the same with one I bought. Like all the media and the hype was like, whoa, like people are camping out for this pre-sale, it's gonna be worth it. Oops, lost a lot of money on that.
So pre-sales now are completely different.
I think it's just you find a desperate developer like you were showing me, you know, some people, they just want to get a sale and you have a leg up now. You're able to negotiate. Whereas before it's like take it or leave it. We got 18 people waiting behind you.
I was saying that someone this afternoon called me about a pre-sale in Pitt Meadows. And they're asking how the pre-sale game works now. And I was like, if you called me 2 years ago and you wanted to, let's say the place is, I think the place that they're looking at was $699. And that if you wanted to rate $695, they would laugh at you and tell you to get the fuck out of the presentation center, right? But now, like, they're offering 3% off. This one I went to yesterday. Yeah, they're offering 3% off.
3% commissions.
3% commission, which is quite a bit more than a normal resale commission. And as you're leaving, they're like, and the price is negotiable. It's negotiable. Just
And then you leave, they're like,
offer.
wait, come back.
Yeah. And they're like, we charge $1,500 per room to bring the laminate floor through because we have carpets in the bedrooms. But you can just bring it in, right? Just bring it. Like, there's all these like little disclosures that she's making.
Right.
It's so funny.
Just more room to play with, eh?
Totally. And they've lowered the deposit structures too, which is cool.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing,
So
right?
something that's 5 years off, if you're putting down 10 or 15% versus 25,
Right, your money's
it's
not
a
tied
big
up.
chunk of money.
And there's some low rises with 5% down,
Yeah.
and then they match. Like there was one, Ren and Raven, I think it was, or allowed to say names in Mission. They were offering like 5% commission, 5% down, match your deposit in interest, pay like that you put. Say if you put 5% down, they would match that over 2 years before completion, and then like there was another thing. It was like also we'll pay you your groceries for like 2 years. It was crazy. Like there was like if I bought and it was only on 2 bedrooms, but I'm like, if I bought a 2 bedroom for say $600K, which was way too much, I'm like, my 5% commission is like 30 grand plus the deposit of 30 grand. I'm like, I just no deposit. And then they're going to give me like 5% back. It was like all this thing. I'm like, I'm going to save like 100 grand almost in incentives if a realtor were to buy it themselves. Yeah. And like realtors, if you sold like multiples in there, they would like add like a 0.25% for like it was insane. But that was them to try to get stuff sold.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, I'm like 600K 2-bedroom in Mission? No. Like that would not rent. It would just be funded by, and then I probably couldn't even get a mortgage on it when it completes.
Where do you think strata is going right now? Because I personally like that idea a lot. I think these Brentwood places at $10.50 a foot are pretty good for being completed in 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
I think that's a pretty good opportunity, especially if you're putting 10, like if you can negotiate 10% down. Both of these guys that I went to want 15, but if you could swindle 10, I think that's a decent opportunity.
I mean, but look, in 5 years, when like, especially areas like Brentwood are going to be Brentwood, Metro, like downtown Burnaby, not Metro 10 really anymore. Yeah. Like it's just going to be a sea of condos, right? Yeah. I mean, like it's just like where, like I don't know. Like I look at it, the high rises. I don't know if the high rises are on the place to go anymore. The little low rises, like I'm getting a lot of clients don't want to be in high rises. COVID is another big thing. Like they don't want to have like waiting for an elevator. Like showing high rises right now how horrible it is. When you're only allowed like one group per elevator, it's torture, right? So like I think the last time I was in a high rise, like showing a high rise was like 3 weeks ago. Like we just aren't selling in high rises anymore. So I don't know. I don't think the condos are really, I mean, it has to be a thing because that's the only thing people can afford. But I don't know. It's weird. It's like 5 years from now, I don't know. It's tough to say.
I just see this trend that I saw in 2015 starting, and it seems like it's starting.
What trend? That was a baby then. 3 years. Fresh into real estate.
That single family homes are on fire. The prices between condos and single family homes was too close.
Yeah.
In 2015, and then the next 18 months, houses went like this, and condos stayed the same.
Yeah. Now we're coming back to.
And then 2017 went like that.
Yeah.
And it seems like single family homes now are in what I think is going to happen for the next 9 months. I think we're going to see a big climb. Like
in single family?
Yeah.
Me too. Actually, I agree.
Like price point climb.
100%. Because you're right. We have but narrowing the gap.
They're too close, man.
How
many clients have you got called in the last 9 months that say, hey, I have a 2-bedroom that's worth $600K. I can buy a house for $1 million with a suite or 1.1.
I just did it.
And my mortgage would be the same or less.
Right. I sold a condo, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath in Highgate. And we bought a house. We sold there for $640, and we bought a house just over right there on, I can't remember what road. Not Pender. Parker for 1.2.
Yeah.
And like, it's got 2 suites.
Yeah.
Her mortgage is less.
Yeah.
Because she rents out like the studios for like $1,000, the other suite for $1,300, $1,400, $2,500 a month, lives in the top. And like, we were fighting for that. But I mean, in Poco, which is I think the craziest, I always look at Poco as like one of the areas, like the transition area. When Poco starts to get on fire, shit's hitting the fan. Stuff's going to start happening out here because like in Poco, I just saw a condo listed today, a 3-bed, 3-bath for $850. You can buy a nice house in Poco for $850. But right now, houses are listing for $800K and selling for $1 million higher plus in Poco right now. It is insane. Like, you have 20 offers on everything out there, on every house. Burke Mountain right above is 1.6 for a house. You go 5 minutes and you're in Poco and you're half the price. It's nuts. Even the brand new builds are like just flying off the market, some in multiples. And I mean, it's nuts. And they dropped. Like, they were like the first area to take a big plunge was Poco, and it's the first one now, like 10% over asking.
Yeah.
Everything's going. So
do you have any builder clients? Because I've noticed in the last, like, it's been pretty short, like the last 3 months maybe, building lots are now attractive again.
It's weird, yeah. I don't have any builder clients that build single families because I actively didn't want to prospect for them because I didn't want them. Because like you couldn't make any money, right? And like lots were, you had to pay cash, right?
2018-19 for like builder product, if you have a single family home that's a teardown, was really difficult to sell unless you just like discounted it heavily. Whereas now, I saw one in East Burnaby that we went to look at. It's a great flat lot on a good street, no trees. Ideal builder product. Listed at 115, had 17 offers, sold 1.3.
Yeah.
Sold 150K over.
It's crazy.
And my clients are not builders, so they walked through it and they were thinking they'd have to put 200K and then it was kind of out of the budget. But we saw one a couple streets over 2 weeks before. They got 16 offers that had like renovated kitchen, decent view, fairly updated with a suite that sold for 135. So that math doesn't make any sense. So that's telling me that like this is what happened in 2016, right?
I
like,
know it's
the
weird.
land was worth stupid much and like the actual house meant nothing.
I know, and it's weird because I feel like I agree. We have almost like a weird like 2016 repeat happening again, but not because everyone's like fuck that 2016 sucked. But like they don't want to get there. But then you look at everything and you're like, why are there 20 fucking offers on this house? Like this doesn't make any sense. Like. And then you look at condos and you're just like, please bring me an offer. Like I get realtors calling me, they're like, did you like it? I'm like, no, we hated it. Sorry. Fuck. Well, my guy's very motivated, very, especially the Canby corridor, like where everything was like priced high. Like I showed like probably everything on the market there to one of my clients recently. And like the realtors were calling, like my client is very motivated, will make something happen. Like they can't get tenants because they like they can't carry their mortgage. Like
crazy.
And like, it's just, I'm like, no, like please stop calling me. Like we've already found something we wrote. But like, it's, but before like 2016, everything, it's like you had something listed. It was like, whew, where'd it go? It's sold with 11 offers. And, you know, I didn't even have to do an open house or show it.
It was a different world. That was so much fun. It was cool. Like, when did you get licensed?
I was licensed August 2015. And I sold my first house like 4 days after my townhouse, right before townhouse for 308, a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom townhouse in South Surrey for 308. And then that was like the only time I ever felt like a normal market was August of 2015. And then all I remember was my client's place being worth $500,000 like 6 months later. And she was like, holy fuck. And she moved from Dawson Creek. That was like it. And then I remember it just exploded and I was like, what am I doing? Holy crap, this is crazy. And we talked about it my last time I was on. I killed it my first year, like 40 plus sales of me and my business partner. It was insane. And then, now we're here, but I feel like we're getting back to that point again where it's nuts because we have no listings and we can't keep listings on the market. Like they're just going so fast. And also there's a huge indecision. People don't know what they want to do right now. Which is making it even hotter because there's no inventory, right? You're like...
It's strange, Carl. This is what I think, Walker. I think pre-sales are a decent option right now for a few reasons. All the discounts that developers are giving that we just talked about. 2, a lot of developers are halting projects.
Exactly.
So I think in 3 or 4 years from now, when this new stuff completes, there's not going to be a flood of listings or a flood of new construction like there has been.
It's true.
I think supply is going to be lower because I have a friend who, his dad owns like a big piece of land in Metrotown who is planning to develop 3 towers there, and they've just put it on pause for the foreseeable future. And he's saying and chatting with the city, it's like a very big thing right now that a lot of developers are halting stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the reason, one of the reasons I like it. Also, I really believe that single family in the next 6 to 12 months is going to climb another 15, 20%.
I agree.
And I think condos,
If not more, honestly.
from what it could be, I think I'm being conservative there, but from what I've seen in my career is that condos usually are 18 to 24 months behind.
Yeah.
So in 3 years from now, when those are built, I see them increasing in value.
Yeah, because like we were just talking about the price gap and the peak was huge between houses and condos.
It was silly.
Huge. Like we're like 2, 3, 4 times in some areas.
Yeah.
And then it dropped so much. And I mean, we can't sell houses. Like there's just so hard to, even out in Langley, even Abbotsford, like you can't keep a house on the market. They just sell. Like I tried to book showings. I was like, fuck, they want a house. Like, yeah, great. They have a $2 million budget, but like that sucks. Like we can't, still going to be multiples.
Your mom has emailed me about 6 houses. Has she told you?
Yeah, she's been talking to me.
Like 6 or 7 houses. There's one for sale that was like an owner that demanded a 2-year rent back. That was the only one.
God.
That was the only one that was available at 21 days on market. Everything else she asked me about was accepted offer or sold in
Multiple offers.
multiples.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, I was booking even condos in Langley today for an investor, and I'm like calling. I was like, yeah, I got lots of time to book. I'm like, there's like 30 of them on the market, and in one building, I was like, touch basing all the agents, and it's like 1, 2, 3. So I sent like 6 touch base. Had the full showing. I was like, all right, I'm great. And then like they all accepted offer, subject remove, accepted offer today, got an accepted offer today, accepted offer. I'm like, wait, all of them? All of them accepted offer. And then I find one I could book because it was tenanted. And then I think I've had like 2 more touch base, like accepted offers since like on my way here. And I was like, I got to go home and book more showings with this guy tomorrow. But I've literally exhausted like 10 places out of like 20. And
Can
they
you
got accepted
try
offers.
to answer this question with some sort of rationality for me? The real estate board will not allow you to write in realtor comments sold, but it takes them 2 weeks to process a sale.
No, I can't. It's
So people keep
dumb.
asking questions.
When
and-
something sells, like
don't-
it would be ideal in realtor comments
Yeah.
to just be like, it's sold.
They
we're
do it
waiting
into
for it.
Ontario. You can like put pending sold.
It makes no sense to me.
Because people keep emailing you, asking you questions about the property.
There's
right?
been some this year that have been probably on for 3 or 4 weeks after they've had a
Mine,
firm
I
sale.
had a sale, like it's not getting processed.
And we'll get 5 to 7 requests a day for that 4 weeks. People are like, is this still available? Is this still available? And every
the
time
worst is
you're
when they
just-
call you too, because. But like we sold one on Euclid and like 2.5 weeks ago, I think, and I'm like, "Where's my MLS point? Like, what the fuck?" And then I look and it's still active, and I call him, and he's like, "I sent it in twice, then just not." And then it's crazy. It's annoying. I put sold. I put like a
Dollar sign or
like a
something.
dollar sign and a 0, but like they'll catch that sometimes and then send you a warning, and I'm like no, like I'm annoyed when people calling, and then you delete the comment, like you can delete the or like add sold, like try to hide it in, but like. Realtors don't read.
So if you write the word sold in realtor comments, like a couple days later, you'll get
gets flagged.
a compliance, whatever email or something from the real estate board saying you can't do that.
You gotta start using emojis and stuff now.
No, you can't. I
Nothing,
wish.
eh?
Maybe if you do like S-O- or something, just to.
Yeah,
so
I
they don't
found,
see
and
it.
like a lot of realtors when it says sold, they'll say how much.
Yeah.
So I try to put the price in too. It's like
Not
this
supposed to
makes
do
our
that.
job easier, so I don't like get excited that I just spent like 30 minutes booking the showing and then have all the middle ones cancel and then the first and last book, and it's like fuck, now I gotta go call.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know how much you show now, but like, it's
This year's been so strange with no opens, right? Usually in the middle of busy season, like April, May, June, your buyer clients are just going to open houses, and if they like something, you're going to see it with them on Sunday night or Monday morning or whatever. But now there's no opens. So like trying to schedule buyer tours is unbelievable. And like and I feel bad for agents, but agents are messaging us saying, "Can I see this at 2:30 on Saturday?" And we're like, "No, we have 9 open houses. Like we're in open houses from 12 to 5. Can you see it outside of that?"
Yeah.
But it's been a very, very challenging year.
Yeah, but as a realtor like me who works in Vancouver a lot and out in the valley where lockboxes are a huge thing,
Yeah.
Honestly,
Amazing.
the lock boxes are king. It's like you don't have to meet the other agent there. With COVID, there's less people in the elevators. It's so much nicer to just say, okay, lockbox, yeah, I've confirmed it with them, just go. Right? But in Vancouver, I'm trying to book showings, tours, and a realtor's like, sorry, I'm showing like everyone's out showing stuff. I was like, sorry, I can't meet you there. I'm like, I can pick up keys. No, I have to be there. And I'm like, yeah, I get being there, but like at least have an assistant or something like that can show it. So it just makes it so hard to like try to line schedules up.
Do you think that becomes more common because New West Burnaby, it's not common at all. Tri-City's a little more common.
What, to show in person?
No, with lock boxes. And then like Fraser Valley, it's extremely common.
I've never had like a realtor. I've I think once come to like show listing like out in Abbotsford.
Yeah, rarely.
Actually, it was even like my like 1.5, $1.6 million mansion stuff I show, lockbox. And my client's like, oh, are you gonna be here for showings? When I listed like $1 million like 5,000 square foot house, I'm like, hell no. I'm like, I live downtown. Like, it's a lockbox. I'm like, and first off, the realtor doesn't want me there, standing there blabbing. Like, that's the last thing. So no, it'll be on lockbox, and they'll lock up, turn the lights off when they leave.
Do you think that changes in 2021?
It hasn't for me. I mean, all my listings, I try to go to them and be there to show them, but I've stopped. Like, it's like in Vancouver, most buildings, like you can't put a lockbox on, when you're building, right? It just doesn't make sense. So I'll show those.
Tough for stratas.
Right? But I mean, why not? It makes everyone's life easier if the listing agent's not there.
Just the accessibility without open houses, because they've told us not to do open houses again.
People still are doing them though. You see it all the time in the comments. It's like open house by appointment only. But the realtor's sitting up there waiting.
It's a tough battle, like, because you're battling with a client who doesn't understand why you can't have an open house.
Yeah.
Even though it's explained to them, and you like show them the emails from the real estate board, they're like, you need to show this thing. So that's where I think the open house by appointment comes in. But man, those are tricky, man, because for new house listings that are going to get 40 showings, I've emailed and messaged realtors saying, hey, can we show this? You have a window from 2 to 5 or whatever on Saturday.
They're full?
You let me know. They're like, fully booked.
Yeah.
No. We want to see the house. Just tell me what time to come. We'll see it. Fully booked.
Mm-hmm.
The hell are you talking about? How is that an option? There can't be eight slots. 8 slots, sorry, full. See you later. You can offer on the next one. What the hell?
No, I know. It's dumb. But I mean,
the lockbox fixed that. So I'm saying maybe there's more lockboxes.
But it does fix
longer
it.
This open house thing.
But it also makes it like you got to be ethical, right? It's got to be. You're not just going to give your code, because that's the biggest issue right now up for contention is just realtors giving the code to their clients and just going through. Right? Or giving their card, right? Because like a lot of people don't have a lockbox card. It's $10 a month or $19 a month or whatever. Get a goddamn Century card, right? Even if you never use it, there's an app. It's amazing. You just unlock any lockbox with it.
I don't even know where the card is.
I found my card the other day in an old wallet of mine. I was like, holy fuck, my Century card.
I was like,
no
idea where it is.
What is this?
Like, it may have been in the car that I had 6 years ago, and it's probably still there. Like, I have no idea where it is.
Yeah. The app's amazing. I remember like when I didn't even know about the app, and I was like on the phone in like Maple Ridge, and it's like no service, trying to unlock the fucking like get my code, because you have to every day you got to like that car was hell. And then I learned that
you have to plug it in that stupid thing, and
you
have to update it every 24 hours. This stupid
and
card.
you can only do it over the phone 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
And then you had to do it on the computer. It's like, fuck off.
There was like a little adapter that you put in your computer with a slot that you put the card in, and you had to go into the website and click renew card.
Yeah.
Every day.
Because the code would change every day, or?
No, just so you could use your card.
If you lost your card, someone couldn't go into every lockbox.
So just turn it off.
Now it's just on the app, which is also really unreliable half the time.
Yeah.
Like everything REBGB.
There's so many frustrations. We were talking about web forms earlier. Man, realtors that are listening will appreciate this,
right?
But just
fucking
how comical it is. Man, and I know you're active on those Facebook groups.
I'm banned right now, so I can't like talk in them, but
you're banned?
I get banned all the time on Facebook for saying stupid shit.
What? For what?
I'm not going to say it. I basically said someone's going to choke them with my toque. It was an American like laughing about toques. So like, I'll choke you with my toque, daddy. And they're like, yeah, and then I got banned for that. And I was like, but he likes it. Like, So I got a week ban for saying that. So I'm free tomorrow.
Only a week.
It's only a
That's not
week,
bad.
but that's like you normally get 24, like 3 days. I've had a lot. The worst is 3 days or 30 days I've had.
Oh.
I don't know what I did, but
From a Facebook group.
yeah, in a Facebook group. Not a realtor. Well, it's the realtor one in the States. It's like a whole bunch of realtors. I get a lot of like referrals from them. So
Is that Mastermind?
No. It's
which
a different one.
group is that?
We can't talk about it. It's like Fight Club.
Oh man. What other frustrations? There's so many, man.
I know.
How do you feel about the ridiculous amount of paperwork that we do for every transaction?
The COVID forms? Well, we were talking.
Well, that's just an extra one to this year, but like,
Oh, the new. I'm not getting used to it. I just like it that like, it's I hate it. I fucking hate it.
it's so I like
Especially when you're listing and then you get an offer or get 8 offers. You're like, oh fuck, 8 offers. Really, I got to do a fucking like commission form for every offer. Like,
you know this?
what a waste.
So up until a year ago, maybe, I don't know, I forget when this exactly came in, year and a half maybe. You sign a listing contract. So if you're selling your condo, you sign a listing contract that says the commission, says what I'm paying to the buyer's agent, it says what I'm keeping
Yeah.
in a percentage form. So it'll be like whatever, 7 and 3, whatever. You sign that as a seller. So you understand what the commission is, right? As a pretty smart individual.
And it breaks
you
it down.
understand.
Just so you know
How
where all the
much to
numbers are
each.
going.
So
Yeah.
every time you receive an offer, you have to fill out a form that breaks down. So your 7 and 3% or whatever your commission is, let's say your offer was $400K, your commission's $22,000 or whatever. You have to break it down.
And not the percentage
every
wise,
offer,
the amount.
the amount.
And if you counter, you have to do it again with the $10 change in commission every time you receive an offer. So if you go back and forth 8 times and you had 8 offers, but one stuck, you're going to have to do 8, 9, 10, like you're going to like 15 forms.
Oh my God.
Or have the commission calculated on 15 different times and signed.
For that guy I was talking about last night in Burnaby
Yeah.
East that got 17 offers, if he was doing it correctly, which I assume most
probably
realtors
not.
are not, if you're doing it correctly according to the council rules, you have to fill out 17 different forms. Every offer. Someone could have offered $400,000
Yeah, you
on a
still have to do
1.3.
it.
You have to fill out a commission form.
Jesus. Why do they make everything so tough for you guys?
They don't make a lot of money. So let's be honest. We're just complaining to complain. We still make a lot of money.
Have you ever had one consumer that saw that form and be like, wow, that's really good information. Thanks for breaking that down for me.
No, I don't think
No,
so.
most of the time they're like,
Probably
why am
because
I
I
signing
complain
this?
about it when I'm signing it to them to make them complain about it with me. I've had one point where I was like, this is stupid. I don't want to do this. I'm like, well, then here's the number. This is what I further. I'm like, put your complaint in. Here's an email. Complain to them. You're a consumer. You matter. We don't give it. They don't give a shit about us. You're the consumer. You're the ones that matter, not us. Like we just do what they tell us to do. Like our opinions do not matter.
Yeah.
It seems.
I would say, in my experience with the forms, I would say 50% of the people don't say anything.
Yeah.
I just send it with the offer. They read it, they sign it, send it back. And 50% message me right away and say, why am I signing this? I'm not accepting it. I'm countering.
Yeah. That,
And then you have to explain.
Yes.
And they're like, that's the
dumb.
dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
Why am I signing this?
Yeah, that's the most annoying thing because they think they're accepting it, and it's like, no, I'm just telling you if you did accept
Yeah.
it, and they're like, if I did, I'm like, if you did,
Yeah.
you didn't.
Well,
you
I'm not. It's a low offer. I know. I agree. We've talked about this.
Yeah.
That's why we're counting.
Yeah. And then you get it back and you send it again, and they're like, what the fuck? Like, you just send us. I usually wait till the transaction's over, and then I just like have the first one, and then every counter, it's like, I know, right? But like every counter, I'm like, hey, you're going to sign here. Because on dot loop, every time you re-sign it, you got to re-sign all the fucking, the old check boxes.
Yeah.
So if you sent it once and you countered it 3 times, you got to re-sign their initial every time you make a change to the document. So it's just very, very frustrating.
It's so frustrating, Carl. There's 2 new documents called a disclosure of representation and trading services and a privacy notice.
Yeah.
And if you're doing it correctly, technically, if someone calls me right now
Yeah.
and says, hey, I want to sell my condo, I need to stop the conversation.
and do
I
a
need
DOT,
to, I need to ask them for their email address. I need to end the conversation, hang up with them, email them the documents, call them back, ask them if they've read them and have any questions and explain it to them, and then talk about what they want to do.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Like if someone says, hey, I have a 2-bedroom condo, I want to buy a house. Oh, sorry.
And then
sorry.
you need to send it. Yeah, and then you need to send it to your office. even if they don't buy or anything, I'm like, oh, I do it correctly every time.
Did you ever get audited?
Hell, I don't know. Not me personally.
I got, well, I guess secret shopped. I got secret shopped twice.
I've been secret shop too because I'm like, bitch, excuse me?
Yeah.
And I'm like how I normally am on the phone to anyone who calls me. And like, it's pretty obvious when you get any secret shop. Like,
It was so obvious.
I can't remember what my sister got secret shop like 3 times. And she's like very ethical. And like, I'm just like, you fucking like, ha ha ha, buy and click. I'll hang up on people a lot of, like, I don't know how I sell shit. I literally don't know how I sell real estate. But how was your secret shop?
I got it twice within a week and a half, probably. Like it was back to back. I probably within 2 months of these new forms coming out and this new, like they made a big deal of it early, these rules. And both of them were the exact same. They said, hey, is this Denny? And I said, yeah. They said, how's the Burnaby real estate market doing? I'm like, that's a pretty generic question. Like, are you looking to sell something? Are you looking to buy something? Have you, whatever, are you looking online? They're like, well, how are townhouses in the, and you like, they're reading off a script. How are townhouses in the Burnaby area? I'm like, what? Like, you can tell right away that this is a fake call. It was just so generic and they're just reading a script. And then, so you just like give them a little spiel, be like, you know, I'd love to help you out, answer your questions. I just got to send you a couple forms. I'm going to text you right now. Is this your cell phone number? Yeah. I'm going to text you right now. Give me your email. I'll send you these forms. We'll go through them together. Like that's what
and
I
a lot
said.
of times I'm like, okay, cool.
And then I texted them and then both of them never responded.
That's it.
Yeah. It was such a joke.
They haven't done it in a while though. I think they just kind of gave up.
Oh, 100%.
Real estate board's like, oops.
How much money does it cost for them to just randomly phone people and read a script every day?
Yeah, my sister got it like a couple times, I know, because, yeah. But like now I feel like everyone's got almost lax with it. But I still do them. I have to.
When I feel like if anyone's going to get audited, it's going to be like us.
Yeah.
Like a team. That
Well,
is-
you've never
is doing
been
well.
audited or no? We've been audited for FinTrax.
I've been, like, personally?
No, our office, but
no,
like I got called out because But then they made all the changes. I got called out for putting BC and not British Columbia.
Yeah, no. On
You know, you're
FinTrack.
gonna put fucking British. I was like, oh,
You're not allowed to
fuck.
put ST either for street.
No,
You gotta
or
spell out
CAD for
street.
Canada.
Spell it out.
Yeah.
You got to spell that shit out. And I'm like, wow. And I've been doing that up until recently.
Yeah.
Like BC and CAD for Canada. And it's like, no, that's like a $5,000 fine. I'm like, okay. I didn't know that.
I don't, like, they're not going to fine you for that.
I know, but
if you're not properly fin tracking people, then maybe, but not for that. Like, even the DL, like, I always put BC DL, right? They'll ask you what document looked at, BC driver's license, BC DL, and then you're like, you're not allowed to do that. Yeah, right. You got to write British Columbia driver's license.
yeah.
So dumb. Yeah.
And I don't get why we're the ones responsible for the FinTrack. That's what I've always been concerned about, like confused about. It's like, why aren't we pick up a bank draft?
Yeah.
Why are we the one in the end responsible for making I don't know. Like I've asked my client, they could tell me anything.
Yeah.
If you're suspicious, it's like, I don't know. Like, how am I going to be, they're not going to tell me, oh, this is from drug money from fucking Cambodia during the transaction. Like, that's not going to get told, right? Unless you're in on it as a realtor.
Yeah.
But like, I just don't get why we're responsible for it.
What did you do with the Dorts and privacy? Because for us, we just wrote a templated email that has like a full explanation of what the documents are with like an intro to our team with a link to our website, whatever. And literally we just copy and paste that, attach those two documents and send whenever we have a new client.
I normally try to meet, well, before COVID, we met them in person. I would say we don't meet.
Yeah.
I would never just talk shit about stuff just on the phone, like, and everything. I'm like, no, let's meet. When can we meet? If they won't meet me, then whatever, I'm not going to deal with them.
Yeah.
Right? But I'll always meet them in person and I always bring it. So I always would try to sit down with them in person and meet them.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know if you saw my recent post on the realtor page before I got banned about that Rupinder Singh, who's going around like, he's a scammer basically. He tries to meet with people and then he writes fake offers and stuff. And I met him at my office like last week. And he had like 20 purchase contracts in his bag. And I was like, just sitting there. He's like, I want to buy a house in Maple Ridge. He's been calling my sister for a lot. Like 20 times asking to meet. Really creepy. So finally he called me. So I answered it and met with him. And, he just wasted my time. I'm just sitting there like basically texting the whole time because I knew he was bullshit. And then he pulls out his binder to show me some listings. And I'm like, oh, I see these purchase contracts. Like, oh, you must be very wealthy. You must bought a lot of homes. Like, oh no, those realtors couldn't get the job done. I'm like, show me them. And he's like, oh, no. I'm like, show me them. And he's like, oh, I can't. I'm like, then get the fuck out of my office. I'm like, I don't have time for this bullshit. If you're going to try to sit here and waste my time, I'm like, get the fuck out of my office. He's like, no. I'm like, then show me the contract right now. And then blah, blah, blah. And I'd already grabbed this like photo of his driver's license, and he'd already signed the DRTS, or he declined to sign it. And I was like, well, if you don't show me, you need to get it. I'm like, you got 5 seconds to get it, or I'm calling the police. And he's like, oh, I'll leave. And he walks away. And I posted it on the BC Realtor Corner, and there was like 10 or 15 agents that reached out to me and were like, yeah, well, he's coming to our office. It's weird. You know, he has all these contracts from houses he's written on. And the dude just writes offers on places and then gets into lawsuits and tries to sue everybody to get money. And like just dicks around. And, you know, won't remove his subjects, and then tries like to tie it up with a lawsuit when someone comes in and like bumps his offer. If there's like issues in the wording and like the offers and stuff. So I'm like, wow, crazy. Because I'm showing him stuff. He's like, I write offer on that. I'm like, okay, let's do it. I'm like, you want to write an offer on a $1.3 million house in Vancouver that you've never seen? Yeah. And I'm like, you're stupid. Yeah. But I did my DRTS with him. And I got a photo of his license. And I blasted his phone number on public, so like realtors can be like aware of this, because he's done it a lot. He had like 20 offers in his, like accepted offers in his bag.
Why is he carrying them around?
I don't know. He carried them in a little potato sack. It was weird. It was really fucking weird. It was like, you know, those like, yeah, like a weird little potato sack kind of thing that he had him in. And he didn't have a car. He walked. So I'm like, I really hope I made you waste a shit ton of time coming here, because like, I'm just sitting in my office anyways, normally, whatever. Like, I don't care, but you walked. And I watched him walk to the gas station on Fraser and King Ed across from our office and like hop on the bus. And I was like, I just hope you had to get here. I don't know where you live, but hope it took you like an hour to get here, thinking you could scam me. Now I got to get home.
Man, you got to feel bad for that guy. Like, you just have nothing better to do?
I don't know. It didn't make sense to me. It's like, this is like, I don't, who wants to spend their day just like fucking around with realtors? We're annoying. Who wants to spend their whole day with a realtor?
We get annoyed so quickly. Oh man. It's so funny now. Like, even just, some realtors are fantastic and so easy to work with. And you know that like their clients are going to be strong. And then there's others that are not as fantastic. And man, like, you have to educate them on reading strata documents and what it means to read a depreciation report and how to explain that. And like, yeah. I don't know.
Or some
like,
are too nice and you're like, please, I don't have time for this shit. Like, just be a cunt. Yeah. Like, be an asshole. Like, I just don't want the one. Yeah. She was too nice. And like, yes, it was nice. Like, be nice. But like just leave me alone when I'm in the listing, please. Like, I just, don't be this nice. Like, I don't want to talk. Like, I'm exhausted. I've talked to 10 people today. Like, I don't want, mentally, it's 8:00 at night. Like, I don't want to sit here and talk about this listing that I just showed twice. Cause like, how did your clients like it? Feedback, please. I'm like, I don't know. I haven't talked to them yet. Like, we just left. Like,
one of the things that I got really frustrated with in 2019, because it was a little slower and there was a lot of places that sat on the market for a little while, and then people with the right lowball offers, the phone call when someone sends a lowball offer, they'll call you and they'll be like, you know, it's been on the market for 45 days and, you know, we're looking at, you know, the market's gone down and the last sale was over here, but the market's gone down 10%. I'm like, I don't need the explanation. I know what it's worth.
But did you ever do that?
You know what it's worth. Just send the offer.
Because that's like, I feel like I did that shit too. I'd like call them like, you know, I know, or the worst is when their clients when you're the one sending the lowball and you're like, fuck me, I didn't want to write this shit. And you're like, you can't call the agent and be like, this offer sucks ass. Yeah. So you like got to justify, like, this is like me pulling shit out of my ass to try to tell you how my offer is good when in reality it fucking sucks. Because it's like 20% under market. And like, I'm just praying to God that you'll take it and I don't burn my relationship with this awesome agent that I've spent 2 years building with this shitty offer I'm sending off. That's how I felt. So I'm like trying to justify like doing that exact same thing. I'm like, yeah, this offer, you know, I think like, where's a number that shows us the price per square foot should be this. Oh crap, there's nothing. Like, let's start digging 9 months back. Let's put the paragon for 18 months back and then just pretend like they don't read the date when I send this over. They don't know what they're doing. Yeah. So
There's a lot of creative stuff that we have to do, Carl.
yeah.
As you can imagine.
But sometimes it works.
What time's your meeting?
It's not really a meeting. Oh. It's for like drinks, like 7:30 to 8-ish, sometime in there. Right. It doesn't matter.
We can wrap up here.
Yeah.
Great to see you, man.
Yeah, you too. It's been 2 years since 2 years, 3 years?
The last one? Last podcast was released November 11, 2018. So exactly
Holy
2 years.
Shit, 2 years.
Whoa, exactly 2 years. Crazy.
That's crazy.
I've come a long way in 2 years. I think last time we just talked about like how I did it. Now it's just like, how are you still here? Yeah. It's like alcohol and like determination. And I mean, even I look at myself, how the hell am I still here?
Yeah.
Like this year was our best year. Well, not a best year ever. The first year I did in real estate was my best year ever. But this year was like, we doubled what we did last year so far. And that's like, awesome. We're still busy. Not like you selling the same amount we sold this year in a month, but you guys are killing it.
Yeah.
We've done a deal together. We did our first deal together too. Well,
which one do we do?
With, it was my sister's listing on, I don't know. Honestly, I don't remember. But it was in multiples, paid 310 over ask before it even hit them. Like, shit. 310 Agnes a couple months ago. I went in once to the listing.
Our listing?
Our listing. Oh, you guys brought an offer. We tried to sell your listing a couple weeks ago, but
yeah, it didn't work out. That's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Did it sell yet?
No, it's still gone.
Is rentals allowed in it? I can't remember.
Their bylaws are pretty loose. The Form B says there's only one rental in the building right now, and there's 3 allowed. So according to that, yes. But according to the seller,
he doesn't know.
He's like, dude, there's like 30 rentals in here. So I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I refer to the Form B.
Right? Well, I just was trying to show a place tomorrow, and it's like, the rentals, like, yeah, rentals are allowed. Allowed. I'm like, allowed? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I just read the rules, and there's 2 rentals allowed. And there's 7 rented. And he's like, no, there's not. And I'm like, dude, is it the right Form B then? Because like, that's what it says on the Form B you posted on the listing.
This might make me sound dumb, but did you know, I literally learned this 2 weeks ago. Did you know that a rental disclosure statement from a developer that was written or dated after January 1st, 2010, if you are a resale buyer in there, they can't put rental restriction on you?
I knew that any building built after 2010, they can put rental restrictions on you, but if you're an original owner, you don't have rental restrictions. Mm-mm. If you're the original owner, yes.
Mm-mm.
Huh?
Not what it says online.
What? Because I know what I was told is if you're original owner and you bought something after 2010 built, you can always rent it, but a resale buyer may not be able to. Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought it's any original owner ever.
Yes, any original owner ever. Wait, oh shit.
Regardless of the date.
Yeah, it is. It is.
But what I was reading was rental disclosure statement after 2010.
Yeah, so
can't
the building
put a rental restriction on you.
They can put it in the future, I thought. Because I know there's some buildings that are later than 2010 that have some rental restrictions.
On BC Housing?
Because that's how it was supposed to be. But I always thought that if the building were to vote, you could put rental restrictions. You could never not disallow rentals. You can restrict the number of rentals, but you can't restrict rentals completely after a building built after 2010. Is that how I thought of it?
The way it's worded on BC Housing is like super strange. And I'm going to find it later and I'll screenshot it and send it to you.
That's how I took it. And like, I mean, because normally when I search for rentals, like I just look for 2010 and older. And I'm like, okay, there's rentals allowed. But even the shit I'm looking in Langley, it's rentals allowed with restrictions. And they're like 2016 built and there's still restrictions on them. Unless the realtor just put that, because like who actually gets their documents before they list the place?
Well, a lot of realtors will put restrictions if it's short term. Like if it says minimum 6 months. But whenever that is the case, realtors listening, you should always write rentals allowed.
Exactly. Because then like a lot of people will just not look at it.
A lot of people will skip it.
Because I don't want to like look at the documents a lot of times, but I know if it's after the 2010, it's rentals most likely allowed.
Yeah.
And it's just a short-term thing. Because that's the law, right? With BC Housing. After 2010 or newer, you can't disallow rentals.
Okay, I'm gonna find it as soon as we're done.
Okay, because now I'm really like curious.
I'll screenshot it to you.
Now I'm stressed. I'm like, shit. Like,
Okay, that's a good idea. Good to see you, man.
yeah, you too.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, nice to have me. Or nice
Good to chat with you again. Good
Definitely.
to catch up.
Cool.
I'm pumped that you're having a good year.
Me too.
Next year's
Great.
gonna be even better. I think next year's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
So excited.
Lots of single family listings. That's the goal.
That is the
'Cause
goal.
they're gonna be
No strata
insane.
docs, no $500 fees every time we list a 200K condo.
Isn't that crazy? We had a listing list today. Docs they'll give us by Wednesday next week, so 7 days. If we want them on Tuesday, it's an extra $150. If we want them on Monday, it's an extra $250. If we want them on Friday, it's an extra $400.
Yeah. Or you just wait a little longer. And you get
They
it.
just try to gouge you.
Anywhere you can make money.
Everything is available. Literally, they could do this: drag, drop,
Yeah.
drag, drop, drag, drop, send. Probably, let's say realistically, 10 minutes of work for someone.
Yeah.
The documents are all available on their computers, but they just want to gouge you. It's so
It's
great.
insane. It's insane. Yeah. I'm so done with
Get out of
strata.
here. Go talk about your TV show, you big shot.
Right? Do we have to do our the intro?
I'll do that then.
All right, cool. Well, peace.